As I was about to leave my brother's restaurant, the female manager stopped me. "Miss, excuse me, but you haven't paid your bill." I looked at the unfamiliar face and thought that she was probably new and didn't recognize me, so I explained politely, "Just put it on the owner's tab." "He knows me." The manager shot me a disdainful look. "Miss, this is a Michelin 3-star restaurant. We don't let just anyone run up a tab." She handed me a printed bill. I glanced at it. $50,000 for one meal, $3,000 for tableware maintenance, $5,000 for exclusive air purification, $10,000 for a VIP mood calming service fee, and a bunch of other ridiculous charges. I didn't even know my brother's place was such a scam. I couldn't help but laugh in disbelief. I'm the owner's sister. If there's a problem, tell him to talk to me at home. But she just wouldn't drop it. If you can't afford it, stop acting like you can. And don't act like you know Mr. Dennis either. I fired off a quick text to my secretary. "Tell my brother to either fire this manager or I'm pulling my investment. Miss, stop wasting everyone's time and just pay your bill." The manager's tone was sharp and condescending, as if she were already sure I was trying to score a free meal. A few curious glances came from the people around us. I frowned, not wanting to waste my time on something this ridiculous. I took out my phone to call my younger brother, Dennis White. All I got was a busy signal. I tried again, but still nothing. It was a workday. What could that brat possibly be doing? I put my phone away and looked at the pushy woman right in the eye as I repeated myself, word for word. I'll say it one more time. "My name is Teresa White. I'm Dennis's older sister. If you can't reach him, just check his account. My photo and information are all linked to his card." I thought that was the most direct and effective way to settle things. However, upon hearing my name, the manager didn't even bother to check. Instead, she burst into a loud laugh, drawing even more attention our way. She leaned in suddenly, lowering her voice so that only the two of us could hear. "Still playing pretend? I've seen your face on my hubby Dennis's social media. You're just a shameless witch sneaking around with my man. And now you have the nerve to show up here and try to put your meal on his tab? How thick-skinned are you?" For a moment, I was stunned. I glanced at her name tag, Jessica Thompson. I could only feel speechless at all of this. So, this was Dennis's so-called secret girlfriend, the one he wouldn't even show me a photo of. How could Dennis have such terrible taste? I see. This outrageous $50,000 bill wasn't some kind of misunderstanding. It was a setup, planned all along just to humiliate me. Before I could say another word, she had lost her patience. "If this lady wants to dine and dash, we'll just have to detain her and wait for the police." She waved her hand, and two brawny security guards who had been waiting nearby immediately stepped forward. One clamped a hand tightly over my mouth, while the other twisted my arms behind my back like I was a criminal. I struggled, but it was hopeless due to the difference in strength. Ignoring my furious glare and the shocked looks from the other guests, they dragged me roughly toward the kitchen. They then dumped me into a storage room that reeked of disinfectants and leftover food. The door slammed shut, cutting me off from all light and sound outside. In the darkness, the manager, Jessica, didn't say a word. She simply lifted her foot that was clad in a high heel and kicked me hard in the stomach. The pain was so intense that I curled up on the floor, my stomach churning. "Spending my man's money, huh? Trying to seduce him?" She screamed, her voice tinted by jealousy and rage. Standing over me, she ordered the two guards and said, "Beat her up and don't hold back." The two security guards were clearly on her side. Without the slightest hesitation, they started to punch and kick me. I clenched my teeth, keeping inside every cry and groan. It felt like my bones were breaking and my innards were scrambling. Jessica kept screaming, "Who do you think you are? You're nothing but a leech. I told you I'm his sister. If you don't believe me, ask Dennis yourself. Call him right now and I'll speak to him." I tried to explain, but she didn't care at all. She only raised her hand and stopped the assault when I grew dizzy and everything started spinning. She pressed the heel of her high heel onto my shoulder, smiling down at me. "You'd better pay for your meal today and cough up another $50,000. This is what you get for going after my man and spending his money. I'm not afraid of anything worse happening. Dennis will handle it for me." I managed to protest weakly, even as I was curled up and barely able to breathe from the pain. "That's my own money. I told you. If you don't believe me, ask him." Her face darkened and she kicked me again. The two guards immediately understood and started beating me up once more. By then I knew it didn't matter what I said. If this kept up, I really might die here. After I spat out a mouthful of blood, I used the last of my strength to feel around for my phone. "Stop. I'll pay." She seemed satisfied with my submission, motioning for the guards to stop. She crouched down and patted my swollen cheek. "See, isn't that easier? You made things so hard for yourself when you could have just done it my way. $100,000 and not 1 cent less." Lying on the cold floor, I felt my lungs burning as I gasped for air. I ignored her and called my best friend, Mary Langton. She picked up immediately. "Mary, bring $200,000 to Dennis's restaurant. I need it right now." Mary went quiet for a second, immediately sensing something was wrong. "Teresa, what happened? Why is your voice? Don't ask, just hurry." I cut her off and hung up. When Jessica Thompson heard 200,000, her eyes lit up. There was a glint of greed in her expression. She probably thought I had been beaten into submission and was offering even more just for mercy. She couldn't hide her smugness anymore. Smart choice. Mary acted incredibly fast. The storage room door was shoved open from the outside in no time. Mary strode in with two bodyguards at her side. When she saw the blood at the corner of my mouth, my disheveled clothes, and the mess I was in on the floor, she was genuinely shocked. She rushed over and helped me up. I shook my head, signaling her not to say a word. Then I took the bank card from her hand with the password taped on it and tossed it to Jessica. The woman took the card but didn't bother to argue further. She just waved her hand dismissively. "If this card is fake, I have ways to find you. Now get out." I shuffled out of that disgusting place with Mary's support as I endured the intense pain all over my body. At the entrance, I thanked her. "Thanks, Mary. I'll pay you back as soon as this is over." She simply looked at me worried. "It's just money, don't worry about it." "But what happened to you?" I managed to laugh. "My brother really picked a winner for a girlfriend. I need to have a little chat with him." I took out my phone and found the number for the restaurant's deputy CEO. He was the real person in charge, someone I had personally recruited. He was also absolutely loyal to me. Once the call connected, I didn't waste a single word. My voice was cold and emotionless, Dennis, you have 10 minutes to fire the manager named Jessica Thompson. If you don't, the White family will pull every cent of its investment out of the restaurant. I won't leave a cent behind. The deputy CEO on the other end was so shaken by my voice that he sounded like he was about to have a panic attack. He could probably hear how weak and off I sounded, and he agreed immediately without even daring to ask why. I hung up and took a cab straight to the police station without pause. I explained everything that had happened in the clearest, calmest way possible to the officer at the front desk. After making a detailed statement, I went to the hospital for a full medical examination. Holding that thin report in my hand, the anger and sense of betrayal inside me flared up even more. I needed an explanation. I needed Dennis to look me in the eye and give me an explanation himself. My assistant found out Dennis was at his own residence. I went straight to his manor with my driver and bodyguard. Even that manor had been a gift from me. But when I arrived, I was greeted by deafening heavy metal music and the sound of men and women laughing and shouting through the doors and windows. He was having a party. No wonder he hadn't answered my calls earlier. The front door was half opened. For some reason, I didn't push it open right away. Soon, I heard the familiar voice of a woman sobbing. It was Jessica Thompson. She was inside, crying to the whole crowd, painting herself as the poor victim who had been bullied by some haughty homewrecker who had hit back. All I did was ask her to pay, but she threw $100,000 in my face and even got me fired. Dennis, she has gone too far. She doesn't respect you at all. She just wants to humiliate me and break us up. Inside, Dennis's group of rotten friends all chimed in, acting outraged on her behalf. Dennis held Jessica, comforting her in a tone full of concern and affection. Don't worry, Jessica. I won't let you be treated like this. To prove himself, he made a showy promise to everyone in the room. As soon as I find that woman, I'll make her get down on her knees and apologize to you. The crowd of Nepo babies jumped in, each louder than the last. Dennis, just say the word. We will drag her out right now. Yeah, let her see who's really in charge here. I couldn't bear to listen to any of it anymore. I raised my hand and my bodyguard kicked the door wide open. The music stopped instantly, and all the laughter and noise vanished instantly. Dozens of dumbfounded faces turned to stare at the entrance simultaneously. No need for that. I'm right here, so who's going to teach me a lesson?